So you're thinking about doing a Kickstarter. Well, I'm Alicia Pace and I'm the author illustrator of a lot of books, including How to Potty Train a Dinosaur and How to Put a Dinosaur to Bed. How to Potty Train a Dinosaur is on Netflix. Animated on Storytime Books. And it all started with Kickstarter. I kickstarted my first book many years ago, 9 or 10 years ago. And it was a great experience for me to be able to put something in print and just get it out there and to have that support. So I wanted to talk about the process of creating a Kickstarter so that you can feel more prepared. So I would say that the first step is to make sure that your picture book is good, which if you want to take the time to figure that out, I have this workbook, How to Write and Publish a Picture Book, and it is on the jungles of the internet. Amazon. I don't know if they hate that here. They definitely do on TikTok. So. And I have a course to go along with that. But you have to make sure that it's good and that it's something that people want, because there are a lot of picture books out there in the world, and you got to make sure that yours is something that's needed and that there's not a lot of. Okay, so number two, second step is you make a prototype of the thing that you want to create so that you can make a video about it on Kickstarter, because the chances are if you have a video, it is going to do much better. They have statistics that are wild, so just make sure to make a video. And so have a prototype so that you can show that, because there are a lot of Kickstarter backers who have paid money and don't get their product fulfilled. So you want to show them how serious you are and how far along the process you are. Now, number three, figure out how you're going to print it and how much that will cost. This way you can decide how much you need to ask from the Kickstarter campaign in order to fulfill on your promises. And then you figure out a goal from that number. So let's say, so for me, I just did a lot of research because I am going to start a series so that I can show you guys the process as I'm going through it in real time. Because I think Kickstarter is a great option if publishers don't seem interested, you can't find an agent, just make it yourself, right? If you're passionate, just do it. So I looked up, and the best option was to go through China. And it's going to be about $4,000 including shipping to print 1,000 books, which I decided you want to do book visits, go to carnivals and stuff. Carnivals, fairs, wherever you want to do your book selling. On this one, I got, I think, 1,000 copies, and I'm starting to get through those, but I wasn't as proud of this. So it was a little bit harder to sell because it wasn't quite what I want. It was fine. It was good. But I'm embarrassed of it now because I've learned a lot since then. But don't let that stop you from moving forward, the fear of making mistakes. So $4,000 to print the book that I am looking to kickstart soon. And so then I decided, okay, that goal is going to be $4,000 for the Kickstarter to make sure that I can get those printed. Now bump that up to $5,000 if you don't want to include shipping prices. They don't add on shipping, which I think today most people like that to be bulked inside of the price. So $5,000 goal. I would say for your first one, $1,000 or $2,000 would be good, because if you don't fulfill on your offer, then you don't get any of the money. I mean, if you don't reach the goal. If you don't reach the goal, you don't get anything and you lose out on all of that. So you want to make sure that it's attainable, but you also want to give it some motivation, because if you open up a Kickstarter campaign, it's already funded, there's a little bit less of a motivation. You also want to have bonus tiers after that of bonus things that people can get if they reach those, if you reach those goals. So then they're more motivated to share it with others. Okay, so with that $5,000 goal, then you have to work backwards and decide, okay, what do we want? What do we want here for the tiers, for the rewards? So for my picture book, I was thinking $8 for like a pen pal reward, so magic by mail, so a card, sticker, PDF, bookmark, and then $28 for the book, maybe even 2 books if I'm feeling generous after it's done. Stickers, paper dolls, balloons, dream journal, bookmark, and then the pen pal set of the bookmark and PDF and whatever. 2 books, that way they'll send one to someone else and then it will kind of get the hype going. Okay, and so if I do a 3rd tier, it might be $199 apprentice package for those that are wanting all of the other things, but then also to get the picture book workbook and a class. Anyways, it's nice to have a higher tier because if you can sell, let's say 10 of those higher ones, then you only need to sell a handful of the smaller tiers. So it's just something to work out all the math. So figure out that goal and then you create the campaign. You film the video, tell them why. Why are you coming to them? And tell them why you're passionate, why you're the person creating the product, and why this is important to you. And then you list out the different rewards and tell about yourself as a creator, what your goals are, and then you want to make sure that you have a deadline that works with the printers, because this company made it sound like it's gonna be like 4 to 8 weeks before they could get the book out. So I'm gonna finish my book, make sure it's all ready for print before starting the Kickstarter. I also wanna build momentum. I'm here telling you about it. I go on to TikTok and I tell them about it. It's called Dream Balloons. It's gonna be magical and beautiful. But you wanna start spreading the word for your picture book before you launch the Kickstarter, because you want there to be momentum right away. So then you post it, send it to your friends. You can have different exciting things on social media, like here's a coloring page to go along with it. We're gonna have a coloring contest and whoever wins gets blah, 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 blah. Definitely try to boost it, because Kickstarter isn't going to do all of that. Sure, once it notices that like the algorithm, there is a little bit of that. If it's popular, then it'll get pushed out, but you can't just bank on that. There's no crossing fingers there. And just remember that Kickstarter does take a cut of the profits at the end, so you just want to make sure that your goals align with all of that. So happy kickstarting, and make sure to finish it. Don't let your fear of perfection and need for perfection keep you from creating something, because the Kickstarter backers are very supportive. And so my first ever Kickstarter was this coloring book. It wasn't great, but people were really supportive and it was really good for me to just print something and get my confidence up. And then my second one was this one. And I think this was like $1,000 goal. This one was like a $2,000 goal, and was able to print these, and that was a good experience for many reasons. I actually started illustrating for Mascot Books, who printed this. So I was able to make some money off of that. And then I was part of this project. I wasn't the one kickstarting it, but I got to do the illustrations and kind of watch. And this one made, if I remember correctly, it was somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 on this Kickstarter, which is important because there was a lot of illustrations and it was a lot of work. But it was interesting to see what he did to market this, of sending it to influencers and really like pushing it on social media and doing different things. He worked really hard going on podcasts and just doing anything to get the word out. So if you're passionate about it and you're committed, I think Kickstarter is a great way to get your ideas into printed form. So good luck.